they're only greenhouse, don't worry about it.
Next up.
Hold on.
Yeah, uncle.
Well, they did sign up for it. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most horrifying Bushtucker trials.
What's it feel like?
It's rats. It's rats.
It is rats.
Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, please subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at the most disgusting and fear-inducing challenges that contestants had to endure on the original British version of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
The game was to go in the water, underwater, unclip the balls.
Number 10, filling your pants.
Do you want to go for it? Can you not pull them in?
No, you've got it. We can't do it. It's over to you.
No matter which series it is, there's always that one celebrity that sparks the interest of the general public. Whether they wail their guts out at challenges, paint themselves as the bad guy, or are just plain unlucky, there's always someone who finds himself put up multiple times to face the trials. John Fashanu was one such person.
Well done, that's 3 meals for camp. Congratulations, all right. Ow!
In this instance, the former football player found himself getting up close and personal with some rather bitey fellows on account of having to fill his pants to the brim with several different bugs. Good on Fash for getting as far as he did though.
We've got bush rats. These rodents have chisel-like incisors and they gnaw through any material.
Get me out of here, I'm a celebrity.
Yeah. Okay, let's come in,
Straight in, safety team.
Let's get them out of the pants.
Number 9, Jungle Spa.
Okay, go for the star.
Off you go, Dean. That's it, search for the star. In there.
You've got it! You've got it!
Well done!
Poor Dean Gaffney. As if entering camp at a later stage wasn't awkward enough, the former EastEnders actor found himself blindsided when he was forced to participate in a live trial. And boy, was it a doozy.
Whoa, in there.
He barely had any time to react before he was put through the infamous jungle spa, where he ended up getting lathered in all manners of creepy crawlies. Of course, what this trial is really remembered for is Dean's hilarious outbursts. And to Deck look like they can barely keep themselves together, and we don't blame them.
You're probably one of the most nervous celebs we've ever had do this, but I can't believe you've done it.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Thank you very much. You've been amazing.
Number 8, Hellholes.
What's that? Something grabbing hold of me.
Whether he was putting it on or was legitimately terrified, this former royal household servant made some rather unique noises in the midst of this particular trial. In order to earn meals for the camp, Paul Burrell had to stuff his hands into various holes, each of which had some rather nasty surprises waiting for him.
Whatever you are, don't bite me.
From insects to rats to all other kinds of lovely creatures, the fear of the unknown and having to feel around in it was a bit too much for the posh Paul to take. Thus, those wacky expressions.
Oh my god, it's rats!
Number 7, the Vile Vineyard.
White Zimfan Hell. It's blended camel testicles.
Come on, Jimbo.
Nothing beats a good wine tasting with the chums, but these particular celebs would rather do without. This trial saw the team of Melanie, Tinchy, Jimmy and Foggy chug down some of the most disgusting blends you can imagine.
Go on, Psyche. Read.
Oh, fantastic.
Excellent.
Don't let those pretty colours fool you. They range from anything like blended camel testicles to sheep's eyes. As you can imagine, these beverages taste like pure hell, and the look on the faces of the celebrities tells the whole story.
Well done, mate. Good work. No, it's not well done.
Number 6, school dinners.
I like it.
It's got a nickname as well. Vomit fruit.
It does taste like puke.
It does.
In spite of having to face some grueling tasks during his time in the jungle, Shaun Ryder, the Happy Mondays vocalist and potty mouth, took it in stride and never backed down no matter what was put in front of him. Case in point when he took the dreaded eating challenge.
What's that?
Facing off against fellow campmate and famous fainter, Gillian McKeith, Shaun managed to munch down a whole slew of disgusting foodie concoctions. These included cheese fruit, bull's tongue, an aged duck egg, and even a crocodile's penis. As expected, Shaun smashed it.
And you've done it. 5 meals.
Number 5, Katie Price's entrance challenge.
Saw water. What the hell's in there? Balls in it and thought,
Making her return to the jungle, this former reality star was probably hoping she could make a second splash, following her sensationalist behaviour the last time she went down under on I'm a Celebrity. As it happened, she would instead end up making a splash into some rather vile water as part of her entrance challenge. While wading through putrid liquids looks like a horrible experience, given how she would end up quitting not long after, we would probably say that it's an oddly fitting mini-trial. Number 4, Danger Down Under.
It's only been just over a minute, it probably seems a lot longer than that.
Darkness, water, rats. Put it all together and what do you get? A very unpleasant ordeal. Jennie Bond found this out the hard way when she was placed in a coffin for 10 minutes. The problem being, other than having to deal with the claustrophobia and complete darkness, the fact that she was partially submerged and joined by several furry friends.
Yeah, it's pretty grim actually. No, I'm not kidding, okay? It's freaking awful.
With so many horror tropes all in one place, 10 minutes in that particular coffin seems like a lifetime. A lifetime that, thankfully, most of us will never have to endure.
Oh!
Nice and easy, nice and easy. We'll get them off you.
All right, thank you very much.
10
I can't believe
minutes.
I've done 10.
Number 3, Savage Sewer.
Oh my God.
What's in there?
It's fair to say that Made in Chelsea star Hugo Taylor is used to the finer things in life, so we can guess a journey on all fours through a sewer pipe filled with Australia's most gnarly creatures was both a humbling and harrowing experience. But hey, at least it was fun for the rest of us to watch.
Oh my God, did he just try and bite me?
Yeah, I think he did, yeah. He's gone back into an S-bend, so...
We all knew that Hugo was used to dealing with thin-skinned reptiles back in Chelsea, but having to fend off and dodge snakes and more in such close quarters probably came off as a shocking change of pace.
Right.
Great, well done. We need to pick up the pace a little bit now.
Okay.
Number 2, Scarioke.
So come on, let me!
Myleene Klass made headlines for her rather revealing shower escapades during her time in the jungle, but there was nothing raunchy about her final Bushtucker trial. The hearsay vocalist got to stretch her vocal cords once again inside a custom recording booth, where she had to perform 5 classic cheesy pop songs. The catch? She would have to sing them with the likes of fish guts and other twisted jungle treats raining down on her. Kudos to her for managing to bellow them out, but we'll stick to drunk karaoke.
You are absolutely covered, aren't you?
I don't want to look. I don't want to look at what's falling on me.
All right, we'll see you in the morning.
Number 1, Bushtucker Bonanza.
Good. You can pass on any dish you like,
All right.
but if you do pass, we can't go back to it.
All right, I'll try to eat all 5.
Okay, you're going to do your best.
Good.
Oh my. As one of the 3 finalists, George Takei found himself in the rather unfortunate position of having to chow down on one of the worst eating challenges the series has ever produced. He was presented with a whole assortment of foul foods, from the likes of witchetty grubs, locusts, cockroaches, and perhaps worst of all, a kangaroo penis.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
And can I just take the foreskin?
You can start there.
Was that going to be enough to stop Mr. Sulu? Not on your life. Going as far as to remove the more delicious alternatives, he practically devoured the repulsive feast.
Well done.
Well done, George.
Great stuff.
Well done.
I did it.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo UK and subscribe for more great content.